Hi guys, let's have another session, no, with with me, and now I'm going to discuss uh, international business, putting intrigue, mystery, controversy, and paradox using Bloom's taxonomy. Have you ever wondered, is there really such a thing as free trade, or is it just a paradox we are taught to believe? So what is a paradox? A paradox is a question that leads to another question. Example of a good paradox is, what comes first? A chicken or the egg? Ano na una, ang itlog ba o ang manok? So, welcome students. Today we explore 10 ways to study international business using Bloom's taxonomy. So what is Bloom's taxonomy? It is a hierarchy of cognitive skills. Six hierarchy of cognitive skills. It starts from the very low, no? Remembering, comes understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and pinakamataas dyan is creating. It was authored by a psychologist in 1956 named Benjamin Bloom. Okay, so ang sabi ko kasi, how can I make this elective subject, international business marketing, is very interesting. It's not a major subject for us, for you guys, no, but it's an elective. Pero para lalo kayong ganahan, no? Ano yung intriguing dito? How can I make this intriguing? Ang Pilipino kasi mas machismis, pinag-uusapan, mas lalo mong masarap aralin o alamin. So I come up with that. No? How could I make international business marketing very intriguing, very controversial, very mysterious? Ang maganda pala dyan, use a paradox, frame it as a paradox, frame it, spell out the controversies and contradiction, and come up with an opportunity. Okay, let's go with this. Okay, the first step in Bloom's taxonomy is the cognitive. Okay, the remembering skill. Okay, in order for us to get the paradox, the controversy, and the intrigue and the mystery in this subject, let's first start with the basic concept, no? Para maintindihan natin, no? Ito yung building blocks. First, we have to understand what is globalization, WTO, a tariff, and FDI. This is the very basic. So, what is globalization? Again, to simplify it, no, it is the interconnectedness of the economies around the world. Tapos, no, it could interconnected economies, culture, tradition, ideas. We're all connected. It means we all know each other's what ideas and culture. We're open to that. We accept that it is real. Okay, and what is WTO? Or the World Trade Organization? It is a huge organization that adhere to free trade. No. Next is, what is tariff? Tariff is a tax imposed on a imported goods. Pagka ang government dito, bawa, if you produce here locally, and it will fall under taxes, o tinatag specifically VAT, no, value added tax. So ang tariff pag imported goods, ang taxes pagka local goods. Okay, what is FDI? Okay, it is foreign direct investment. So this comes into two, no? If a foreign country put up a company here in the Philippines, that is another form of foreign direct investment. It will generate job, it will transfer technology, it create employment. Okay, pwede rin ang foreign direct investment in the form of capital by other countries investing in the shares of a company through the stock market, Philippine stock market. So they buy shares. For example, they buy shares of San Miguel or Nawasa or BDO. Okay, so this is free capital to be used by these companies. Okay, so yun, these are the building blocks. So globalization, tariffs, the WTO, and foreign direct investments. This is our building blocks to understand the mystery. But here's a paradox. While nations praise free trade, they often impose tariff to protect local industries. Di ba? Okay. Ang sabi nila, we have to impose tariff But why? But you said you are the signatory on WTO, the World Trade Organization. You're a member of that. But why is it that there is this barrier? Okay. Now let's understand. No, the second cognitive theory is understanding. Let's explain the theory. Yan. Meron naman tinatawag na economic theory. Why countries become rich? How to become a rich country? Now, okay, this is a snippet, no? Medyo yung hapyaw lang kasi masyadong mahaba, madetalye. You cannot do this, no? In a short YouTube video. But let's have a short snippet. Okay, ang sabi nung panahon ng Spain, na naalala niyo yung history niyo, Spain, Portugal, and England, they are the powerful nations of the world before, no? So they call that theory, the reason why they are powerful because of the theory of mercantilism. Sabi yan ni Adam Smith. Ang mercantilism kasi, mayaman daw ang isang bansa if you engage in trade, thereby accumulating gold and silver. The more gold and silver you accumulate, the more rich you are. You could buy machines, war machines, ships. You could promote expedition. So yan yung pinakamahalaga. No, isang ano yan, para malaman mong mayaman ng isang bansa kung marami kang nakatagong ginto. Okay, silver. But how do they do that? Because of trade, world trade. They have to trade. Yan ang dahilan ba't mayaman ng isang bansa. Ang sabi naman ni David Ricardo, another classic economist, no? Sabi niya, hindi. Yayaman ng isang, kaya yan yumaman, kasi nga, because of comparative advantage. So what is comparative advantage? For example, now, no? When Elon Musk pioneered the electric car through his Tesla, he awakened the electric vehicle. Now, China, because of BYD, sila na ngayon ang leader of electric car. Ngayon, BYD, because they could produce more competitive than Tesla, because aesthetically designed, maganda talaga, and performance of BYD, sila na ngayon ang leading. So, ang yun ang tatag na comparative advantage. And now, what is this Heckscher-Ohlin theory? Ang sabi ng iba, yayaman ka lang pag yan yung theory mo. Okay? Nakakabulol, di ba? Kahit ako rin, Heckscher-Ohlin theory. Now, the theory says, yayaman ka, doon ka lang mag-produce doon sa absolute advantage mo. Kung ano yung kulang mo, yun ang i-import mo. So, absolute advantage, in my concept, in my insight, is only given by natural resources, endowed by natural resources, by nature. So, absolute advantage, for example, ng Middle East countries is fossil fuel oil. So, wala nang tatalo doon. Absolutely, sila talaga yung may oil. At hindi ka pwede mag-produce ng oil, hindi ka mag-produce ng gold like South Africa, timber or forestry, absolute advantage South Africa, mga timber. And absolute advantage natin is our population. Kaya tayo magpadala ng construction worker, mga yaya, mga maid, mga nurses, because we have the population and the will, no, the young demographic population to export service. Yun yung tawag na absolute advantage. So, this theory makes a country very rich. It could bring in a lot of wealth, no? Yan ang mga theory. Ngayon, let's apply now to the real case, no? Since everything has a theory to be wealthy. Ngayon, isipin natin, why is there a US-China trade war? Why is there the ASEAN free trade map? And what is this Brexit controversy? Okay, bakit nagkaroon ng ganon? So, just to understand, just a snippet nga, no? If you like, you could research that. Ang daming information, no? Ang US-China trade war started when the US discovered that China is copying its intellectual technology to promote war technology. And they are copying products designed of China. Kunyari, yung coach, hindi ko lang masabi. Pero parang gano'n, no? Nangungopia lang. So, ang ginawa ng China, hindi pwedeng ganyan. Huwag kayong kumukopia, violation of copyright. Tapos, napapansin din ng United States, mas marami kaming binibili sa inyo, that is China, kaso kayo bumibili sa amin. So, nagkakaroon ng trade imbalance. Parang kuripot kayo. We open our market, but you are buying less from us. Malaki ang trade deficit. Ganon din kaya nagagalit si Trump. In Europe din, ganon. Ba't ganon? Tsaka ba't ganon? In Europe, in China, Canada, buong mundo nagalit si Trump. Bakit ganon? Kulang yung binibili nyo sa amin. Pero kayo, bili kami ng bili sa inyo. That is the reason. So hindi ko na papayagan to. Dapat trade balance. Kung ano yung binili ko, yun din ang bibili nyo sa amin. So dapat pantay, hindi masyadong malaki. Now, ang sabi, there's a huge trade gap. Kung ano yung export mo, yun din ang i-import mo. Pero hindi, ang dami namin binibili sa inyo, sa amin konti lang. So that is the story of this in real life. The same goes with the Brexit Brexit story, no? Sabi ni England, so European nation, but why is it that we are buying England was a member of the European Union. Sabi doon, pag member ka doon, we could freely trade. Pwede kang magtinda, walang tariff, if you want to go to other countries, the member of EU, wala nang visa application. So you could tour everywhere. Ang nangyari ngayon, lahat ng bansa pupunta sa England, nagtatayo ng negosyo, binibili na yung mga lupa nila. At yung mga Britons, yung mga Englishman, sila na ngayon nangungupahan, walang trabaho, mas pinapaboran pa nila yung cheap labor coming from Poland, na wala na ngayon yung construction worker ng mga English kasi mas mataas daw yung sinisingil na na salary na hindi kaya ng negosyo. Tapos gusto nila yung mga Polish, ganun. So ngayon, ginawa ng England, sasara na namin to, ayaw na namin dyan sa EU. Ngayon, here comes the analysis, the contradiction. Nations say they want free trade but also subsidize farmers, impose quotas, protect their own steel or rice industry. That's the paradox. So, free trade often isn't free at all. So that's analyzing, no? Okay, that's kanina nga yung cases now that we are trying to analyze. Bakit gano'n, no? Is the paradox now is free trade isn't it for all o pili lang? Okay, let's evaluate, no? So, do trade agreements truly help smaller nations, or do the most powerful benefit more? Does globalization make the rich richer and the poor poorer? Now you become the judge. Weigh the evidence. Let's now create. Imagine you guys, after finishing your degree, you become a department head of the government, or some of you might be a senate, a congressman, or become an owner of a company, entrepreneur, or probably one of you will become the president of the Republic of the Philippines. How can you make policies at the same time protecting the local industry and at the same time promoting free trade? Kasi ang nangyayari, our country cannot compete with, for example, let's be specific, rice, chicken, pigs, and poultry, cattle. Other countries can export this to us in very, very competitive, lower than the farm gate price that the local industry could offer. Kaya mababankrupt sila. At pag nabankrupt sila, syempre, consumers like quality and lower price, this local industry will die, eventually close shop, and a lot of Filipinos will what? Will lose job. Tandaan nyo, will just importing, no? Tapos, but the consumers will be happy, but the problem is the local industry that employs a lot of Filipinos will close shop, nagkakaroon ng problema, and we will be so dependent on other countries na ayaw naman nating mangyari. So, that is the paradox, no? Paano mo aayusin yun? We are not competitive, but we have to protect the farmers, because if we don't protect the farmers and the farmers close shop, we will be forever dependent on Vietnam for rice. And if ever we have an argument with Vietnam, it will be the end of us. So that is the challenging assumption. Now for your assignment, I want you to post on FB your reaction and comment on how to do this. So see you next time. Bye.